Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Gupta. As we are slowly expanding our borders, which I think I recall in the previous, we only expanded into Mutgagiri, which we did that because that's the major part of Magad, that Raj that I have not created that title of, as it's still held by another man, but I cannot usurp the title. I may have the money, but I can't usurp it right now, but don't need to right now. It's not really a priority. But what is a priority is that later on, at least next year, I believe. I mean, we're not quite at full strength yet to go fight against the Ayudha Kingdom. So we got 1 year, and then we'll start that war. And I have a few tricks up in my sleeve, which is raising levy army and whatnot. But there is problems within the life of Maharaja Rajaganesha. Ever since he took the throne, thought things are going to go well for him. I mean, he's been preparing this for years. Ever since his father passed away at the ripe old age of 83. He died of severe stress. He got stressed one day and died immediately. It took it very hard for him. But that was due to all the years of hiding when Magad was under siege and occupation, but Magad never gave up. Patliputra, our capital, never gave up. And we will restore it to its former glory. One day we will. Back in the good old days of the Mauryas and the Guptas. I mean, I could spend a lot more money to improve upon all of this, but I'm trying to save up money to, say, 700. Although I could make the job easier just by extorting. Because we can't wait anymore. So we need to get a lot closer to 700. So the clergy of Pantana surely does not need all that wealth. Yes, it's a tyrannical thing to do, but we must have it. As my men load the wealth of the Mandir of Pantana onto several wagons, I am approached by a raving group of clergymen. Apparently they are not too happy about you seizing their valuables, and they claim that I will be punished by the Vinyakas if I could not justify this blasphemy. Vinyakas be damned. The wealth does more good in my coffers. And the Pujari, he's become my rival now. Also, it should be noted that there's just another temple here. This one I looted. But in Kasaria, in that same one, which is ran by him, another vassal, my sister, my leopard sister, because she could not marry anyone because of her condition that she's had since, probably when she was in her early 20s. And there was nothing good to do for her, so we decided to order her to take the vows, and so she is a sannyasini. I mean, what other choice? I mean, she's a very virtuous person. She has a kind heart, despite the condition and her being physically weak, but she's still a good soul. And I hope she finds peace in the Advaita Mata. Whereas for me, I have a lot more work to do. And yes, I'm still secretly Jain, but that's for personal reasons. And unfortunately, my son, Vijay Narayan, he died a sickly infant. He was sickly, despite the treatments that my court physician gave. He did his best, but he could not survive. And my daughter here, she's a dwarf. And I'm sure she'll be a nice person too, but... And my first wife had a miscarriage. And I loved her, but I just couldn't take it anymore. I think I'm convinced that I am not as good as my enlightened father, Ramagupta the Wise, as we mentioned before, that he passed in 83. It's been nearly 10 years since his death. Now that I think about it, and it's been nearly 10 years since his reign. Basically, ever since I became Maharaj, things have not been going well for me. At least in the personal life, but military and administrative matters, it's fine. Even though I did a bit of extortion, but I need that war chest built. As I said, we'll go to war next year. No later than that. Because the next objective is to take western Bihar. Because these areas is the Hijor claim. We have to fight a subjugation war against the Ayudha. Because parts of Jharkhand, Magadh, and Kashi need to come to the Gupta. Also, this is my new wife, Ananta Devi. Which, you know, she's not as lustful as my first wife, but she has wanderlusts, which is different. Because she's a traveling person. Well, we found her, but she's just a child of a concubine, but charismatic negotiator, which helps fertility a little. But she likes me well enough, despite the extortion policies. I'm convinced that I am cursed. Whether if it's by Vishnu or Ganesha. You know, my father named me after Ganesha. And, things are not going well in my personal life. Maybe I should adhere to something else. Not to mention desperate need of a son. Even though the spy master tells me that I don't see capable of generating a son. A healthy son. I could try to fake one to assure the continuity of my lineage. It all depends on my intrigue and being deceitful. Which I am deceitful, but I'm not that desperate. I have her. And I don't need concubines right now, although I could. That would solve the situation, but I want a legitimate son and not a child of a concubine. Because diplomacy reasons of heritage. So, a person following any of the Eastern religions may convert from one branch of the religion to another. Such a choice may only be made once in a lifetime, however. The four traditions of the Hindu faith are Shaivism, Vaishnavism, Shaktism, and Smartism. I have decided to choose a new way. As I said, there's something going on. My relationship with Vishnu and all that. Vishnu loved my father, but I don't think he's liked me for whatever reason. It's because of my pride, because of my lust, but I shall go for Shaktism, revering Shakti, the feminine divine, as supreme. Vishnu was the supreme, but now I view her as the supreme. And subsequently, my daughter and my wife will become Shaktists. So, this could help. This may solve our problem. So, let's just make a little fortune. I'll ask her to spend some time with me, even though we already like each other well enough. Bishbalik, huh? We'll talk in private. That's good. Hopefully we have something in common. It's fun. It was nice finally being with Ananta Devi for a while. Even though she's the target of my divine efforts, my duties as Maharaja often prevent me from spending enough time with my own family. Which, you know, is from another. I was very glad to spend time with her. She was so struck by my generosity and kindness as host. Just before the party, she told me that Shirley now feels indebted with me. How kind of her. What am I going to do with a favor from the Maharani herself? May never know. Could be useful one day. Nepal just changed its ruler. He was just slain in combat. All those claims that he had against me, they died with him. It's good. Previously fired you, but now I'm putting you back in charge. Don't spend anything right now. Just doing a bit of reading. I mean, let's hope for, a child one day with my most beautiful wife. In fact, the most beautiful in all of India. Because she's born attractive and has the groomed trait as well. And we both became Shaktis. Talking about Adi Parashakti, the mother goddess, Mahadevi, the cosmic energy and the divine power, the supreme being, Parabrahman. Now there's a mantra, for those Shaktis out there. Om Aim Harim Sharim Kalim. That's one of those mantras. Just hoping for a child or whatnot. But in fact, I'll go further. Okay, one more time for the extortion. Peasants of Mudagiri could pay an extra tax. Triple taxation. There, you built your war chests. Now, here's what we're going to do with. We often do Diwali, but in Bengali tradition, let us hold a Kali Puja feast. My father once did it, so I better start doing that. While most of India celebrates Diwali in autumn, the Kali Puja feast is celebrated in the goddess Kali's name by Hindus in parts of northeastern India, and anywhere by those who hold a special love for the goddess of death, time, and change. Rituals in Kali's honor often involve things such as blood and skulls. To properly celebrate the seasonal feast, I should invite all my vassals, have my scribe write the letters and send them off. The messenger's satchels decorated with flowers. It'll be a grand feast. In the Indian autumn feast, tradition dictates I should offer a gift to my spouse. I should plan this and buy something before the feast begins. The jeweled necklace would be perfect. I hope she falls in love with me. She does owe me a favor of whatever I need. Which I don't think she brings much. Hey, wait a minute. Listen, friend, oh, you can be designated regent. Well, that's revoked, you dummy. You're no longer court musician. That honor goes to the woman I love the most. It does pay a little bit to be the musician. And I better start giving all these other titles to those who call me a tyrant. Except for my Jan friend. I don't know about you being a court poet. You'll do in this one. You can also be the court poet, knowing that you have eloquent words. He will be the royal builder, which powerful rulers will always be expanded at possibility new ones. The position of royal builder holds much prestige, though the holder need not actually have any architectural or engineering skills. It's usually someone else doing the real work. Now, for someone to be the master of the royal elephants, great monarchs often employ units of war elephants in the army to great effect. But aside from that, the elephant is also a great value as a symbol of stability, strength, and perseverance. All this makes it very important to keep the ruler's elephants in good health, and the position of the master of the royal elephant is correspondingly a prestigious one. That'll be for the Nada Pujari, my chancellor. Master of the hunt. You're just gonna only have one negative. And I ought to do something about that. So I just wish the good health for all of you in the future. But I completed that ambition. That's what was intended. I was desperate to go extort something. Yeah, that ain't happening. All I want is a son. And only that. And now that you have all this wealth that you could say, now you can build something. And build them faster. The castle's decorated with flowers and colorful tapestries, carpets, and ribbons. All the guests arrive. There's a bustle of people, all eager and full of festive spirit. It's time for the feast to begin. Welcome all. They think it's the usual Diwali, but I got something special for them. Also, I should get that crown focus off of my gut. It's serene round. It's this restless, volatile area that needs to be focused on. And here's another thing I need to spend. We need a new domain overseer. Bunch of old guys, but why not the local majority? He has the power of persuasion, one of the best men. At the feast, it is time for the traditional ceremony gifts. My target of diplomatic efforts is overjoyed with a magnificent gift. She's grateful, but not my lover yet. The darkest night of the Kali Puja is here, the most important night of the feast. Candles are lit everywhere, placed inside human skulls. Guests stroll across the painted and decorated floor, carrying the various symbols of time, death, and change. Homage is offered to the beautiful and terrifying four-armed idols with swords, skulls, and severed heads in their hands. A symbol of change, that's what I want. I want change. I want change for the better. A change to give me good fortune. That's why I call upon Shakti and now Kali. Let's do something extra this year. Following the Supreme's will is more than anything else. I've gained a zealous trait. In addition of being cruel, but it's too many traits, so 2 traits gotta go. Kali is our mother, the goddess of time, death, and the darkest night. She must be honored properly, and I just have the right thing in mind. Well, too bad there's no prisoners to sacrifice. And we have a lot of wealth. We will sacrifice 10 elephants and paint the walls with blood. Celebration in blood. A large elephant is led into the hall. It is tied down with strong ropes and chains, then is stabbed with swords, screaming and trumpeting terribly for several minutes as it dies. The guests watch in horrified fascination. The process is then repeated with 9 more elephants. A long and bloody megaphonic concert at death. At the end of it, the floor is a lake of blood. As several priests step forth, sliding and slipping in the gore, holding long brushes. They dipped the brushes in the blood and started painting the walls. Eventually covered them entirely in this gruesome, wet and dark paint. The smell is strong and sickening. Praise Kali, our mother. The feast was over, but it was a fantastic feast. As the guests make their way home and sit down to smile myself pleased at how the things turned out. Here's the reason why. Here's the real reason why we painted the walls red. It's to keep the monkeys out. It happened a few times in my lifetime when we had these feasts and they come in and mess with everything. Well, bring it over to the room, sacrifice them, paint the walls red, keep them out. Hope we do this again next year. Don't even think about it. Anyways, some of these traits are gonna go. Watch. That's one. And soon there's gonna be number 2. Oh, actually I'm no longer weary. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more is to be removed. And I'm no longer brave. Increased stability and crown focus points. Okay, good. Now it's just volatile. It needs a little more focus. Okay, we're not quite there on the full domain troops because some of which aren't reinforcing as much. While other places are in construction where we'll have more income in the future in order to sustain ourselves. I'm only 42 and here's another way to spend my money on. Search the domain for resources. We need another source of income in the future. So, it could be anything within there. First thing this spring, go to war. We'll just use our commanding talent to defeat the superior, numerically superior forces. Don't forget, I have a family focus that increases the fertility even more. And we're both shock teists, so it could be any time now. A pale rider is sowing his deadly seeds of China. A devastating plague has broken out in Guangzhou. No goods travel along the Silk Road as the merchants feared infection. Even so, the deadly scourge is spreading quickly, and the troubles of China could soon be ours. Interesting. No, not interesting at all. The value of the Silk Road is reduced by 90%. An ascetic that just came here. Anyone else? Just you? You have a strong claim, so indicates you came from over there. As a lowborn. So he's a Brahmin. From the Vihara Asagadvi. Is there such thing as claiming war for... Yeah, there is such thing as that. For baronies, temples, and cities. Also, you have an artifact. What you got there? Oh, a lot of books, including a landscape painting of forest. It's pretty good, actually. You could stay here for as long as you like, knowing that when he dies, I get to inherit all of this. That'll definitely fill up my personal library, and have a painting. I'm not gonna go as far as murdering him immediately. I mean, just because I'm cruel doesn't mean I could be that cruel. And plus, if you want to be role-playing realistically, Kshatriyas are not supposed to kill Brahmins. They don't sentence them to death. That's the job to the Brahmin. Only a Brahmin decides the fate with another Brahmin. Not a Kshatriya that decides the fate of a Brahmin. So just leave him alone. Just let him remain at court and just, be around. And then when he dies of old age, you get the good stuff. And plus, that's not even his full domain size because he's been raiding China and he keeps getting away with it. So that's where he gets his source of income. And we will go to war for it. So, by the way, only Varanasi has a resource. Steel furnace. Gosh, Bihar barely has any resources. At all. Chennai's got a shepherd community as well. Okay. And while we're trying to look for one around here. Yes, we're both zealous to each other's faith. I've become zealous to the Hindu faith because of my devotion to Kali and Shakti and all that. And he's gonna bring an ally. That's my friend. Attack me from behind, will you? Been saving up the karma for this. Again, not at full strength, but we'll do what we can. Also, every once in a while, you should get into shape because it adds up fertility too for you to be in such good shape. Yes, it's gonna be the 10th year of my reign, and this is how it's gonna be. Didn't know you're a siege leader. Glad we have you on our side. Sasana is part of Magad, but that one's crime-ridden, which isn't surprising. Because ever since Father came back, not just Magad proper, but as a whole, has a bit of a seedy reputation. We're here to put an end to that by taking it all over. Oh, they're coming over. Are they sure about that? Are they sure about that? Yes, they are. So this is going to be a defensive battle as the terrain here is forest and they're crossing the Ganga. So we need our commanders who specialize in defense. Good old Kameshwa. And Mahendrani. I told you, we'll just use our commanding talent and the right terrain to do the fighting. Oh, man. Well, continue on your path there. Forgot the forces from the Chetty Raj. My supremacist enemy is suggesting to help a foreign individual that has value for my future plans. He is being held in a foreign prison and is in possession of valuable information about military, economy, and culture technologies that could provide an edge to my efforts. Well, let's rescue him. I'm deceitful, so go ahead, please. A cruel streak. My law is harsh and merciless in Simarampura. Order is kept by exemplary and creative punishment across my domain. An ear for spreading of rumors? Nay, in my territories the price for a minor crime is immediately in hand, as it should be. Sometimes my strictness brings restlessness in my province. So it's no longer peaceful up there. We just want to win. Things are going well. And suddenly hear an embarrassed tough from nearby, spinning my sword ready. I see enemy commander Harpal awkwardly attempted to climb a fallen tree. Thinks trying to escape the battle, my lord. A soldier next to me muses. Hey, eunuch. I'll duel him myself. I was chasing Harpal through the forest when Krishnan Mishra shot me aside, bugging. I'll take this one, my lord, vigorously swinging his maul. Oh my, how chivalrous. Didn't know you were here as a sub-commander. Didn't need your help, honestly. Mahipala. Giant of a man. No money. That's too bad. Yeah, it's cruel. I can mutilate prisoners, but that's only towards somebody important, and this is just some lowborn, so. You're gonna be on house arrest. I'll let you know what I'm gonna do to you in the future. Unless the ruler cares to get him back. Very well. There's Harpal, who was wounded. You got enemy reinforcements coming in, unless they're gonna stop. They've stopped. Get the siege leader. Friendly forces got annihilated. I received a report about the next sector to be surveyed. This patch of land technically belongs to the local temple. There's little chance they'll see my activities in their land in a positive light. I'll send him to deal with it. Get him to do the work, despite the fact that he dislikes me. The rescue mission ended in disaster when the man we were rescuing was slain by an enemy agent. He was evading from the prison. Unfortunately, some of my operatives paid for their life or their freedom in this during attempt. This would possibly point to my own involvement in the rescue. 49% chance that this near Grantha here, who lives over there. He's a Buddhist, and why is he near Grantha and designated regent? Yes, he holds a monastery. Yes, that is a theocratic vassal. Temple City. Yes. Were the previous owners Jain? They're all Han Jans. Let me read this strange history. So it was at some point that they made him a Jan. So I don't know. Monastic feudal. But the liege is he. And that man who holds that title was the previous owner. Yes, so that's what caused it. Okay. Plenty of rivals lately. John's fallen before me, and my troops collected everyone found within. Now I must decide the fates of the unfortunate. Remember that I said that I'm kind of opposed of taking concubines? Well, if the women that we captured have anything special in them, then that'll make that an exception. Not the nun. Take her when we found prisoner. But you in particular, who is also named not the Devi. I'm gonna take you in as my concubine. Gain prestige because taking a concubine from a noble as a noble. So it's like, how dare you? But when you look at me, you would just fall in love with me. You cannot resist me. And that's in more ways than one. Because I am desperate for a son. If you've got any beautiful women around, surrender them to me. It's just 2 holdings. You again? I will soon retire from being Grand Champion and all. You're resting. Not anymore. Pay up. If you can't pay, I'm gonna steal something from you. Well, I don't need that from a Brahmin. The guy who's here in court. I could just have this painting for myself right now. Increase fertility. Give me that. I'll do anything to get fertility. You know, with their ongoing conflict between the two, I was wondering if we should take advantage. There's another 2 holdings. This has 3. Mahoba is the name of... No, they live over there, okay. He controls this. Thakur Varanasi. Just looking around of places to capture. Calling me to hunt. Who are you married to? Who's your... They're all related. There's the enemy army over there. But it's open plains, but that'll be a river crossing penalty because of where they stand. So stay here. Let them attack us if they have to. Well, it looks like they might. Are they that desperate? Mercenaries? Two could play that game. Raise another army in Mugat and make your way over here. Because we're tired of playing games. The plot's exposed. Hope for Negranta to seek justice. They're still on their way to Sasaram. Move in. Use our combined strength. Actually, they beat us to it. Not good, not good. We're attacking. I'm here. Don't know if this is going to improve the situation. Putting pressure on this flank. He's trying to hang on, even though he's a siege master. Now putting pressure here. Now we're against each other. I'm taking less casualties than they are. Down to melee fighting. No. Here comes the court. There, we got him. Hopefully we capture the Maharaja. Damn these bastards. Took more casualties than they have. Craven. He was a renowned physician. This is no place for a battlefield, you son of a... Just to make sure that you don't go to war ever again. Ordered the jailer to drag from his cell while I methodically prepare my tools. No one crosses me unscathed, and Kirat will become a living example of this. At least that's the plan. Who knows? I could slip. I have not come for your head. Your leg will do just fine. This would likely affect their mental health. That'll make damn sure that you'll never raise your weapon against us again. Never! This was supposed to make it even strength, but it did not. They still strong. We may have to get mercenaries for this. All we need is capture a few more holdings, and then we'll get them. The realm prospers, but the volatility needs to go away. This won't take long. Again, angry at the fact that I can't have a son, so I'm doing anything to take out my frustration on it, even though I'm not stressed. Restlessness of the area continues. The old drunken assassin has died a natural death. No, they'll beat us to it. Actually. Whatever happened to the one who is an organizer? Gopala. Listen. Get out here. Can we beat him to it? No. Actually, yes, they say, Maharaj. Without him, we would take the river across the penalty, but we'll use his speed and organization to get him there. So we're gonna beat him to it. He's gonna have to rethink that strategy. And they'll arrive on the 19th. Battle begins on the 19th. We'll just barely beat it to it. Okay, we're here now. Quick! It's a defensive battle. I need you again, Kameshwa. No defenses here in Varanasi. Show them what you got. Losing a bit of morale here. In the middle of battle, I catch sight of a girl wearing the same color as I am. Just time to noticed the fierce expression on her face. When she was struck down, I feel a pang of guilt, realizing how much she reminded me of my daughter, Kanchi. I need to become patient again, because defense. This may turn things around in the middle of a battle. If not, it's not. Because we're retreating right now. Not good. Back off. Return to Magat. We're gonna need mercenaries for this. Lately, I find myself worrying about my little daughter. The last has been brought up to believing a false god who can offer nothing but illusions and hollow promises. Hence the reason why she's a dwarf right now. Perhaps she's ready to introduce to the true faith. I shall read her the Anga Sutras. A doctor into the Jain faith. They bested us this time. Bastards! Get me the Tamil band. Where are we retreating to exactly? I summoned her to my study with say to read her the Anga Sutras. I could tell from the first minute I had a real challenge ahead of me. The last is fidgeting in her seat and played with her sleeves. I was not expecting her to shout at me when I brought up the Tirthankaras. I'll give this one more try. This time around, instead of lecturing, I tried a conversation about when I listened to what she had to say. Sadly, even though she was more willing to listen to me as well as her opinions were set in stone, she refused to question the things that the majority taught. Now we're rivals. Never liked her because of the way she turned out to be, that little monster. Tell you what. Looking around for potential allies. Hey. What say you? No? Political concerns. Of course you would say that. What this? Or how about, he's not patrolled yet. There we go. Need to negotiate an alliance with them. They're not in a war, are they? Yes, they are. Just a little revoke war. Because we need something to get them off our backs. Days arrived for diplomatic meetings with Maharaja Devasakti of the Ayudha Kingdom and Zataraj. After the necessary pleasantries, we sit down and start the summit. I was informed by my spies that my locators are particularly subtle to a nice, pleasant approach. That's what I was going to go for exactly, even though my attitude has been changed as of late. They have plenty of money. They could definitely pay those mercenaries. We don't have that luxury. They reinforce faster than we do. How many mercenaries they have hired? They just have a lot of vassal troops. Because they're against a bigger kingdom. Meet up here. Don't engage him yet. Let him recapture. It's for those children that are in prison still. Okay, does anybody want them? My competent steward approached me one day, suggested I call my vassal, explaining how well my realm is working. Mayor Bavesh thinks I could present my case and win over my vassals to my arguments, thus increase their opinion of myself. I don't know about this. I am diligent and patient. Around prods become volatile. Maybe the gods did indeed curse me of how we're not winning, despite the initial victories and this major defeat in Varanasi that really damaged the reputation. It hasn't been 2 years. After summing my vassals detailing all the aspects of managing the realm, even the help of my steward, I was able to impart a sense of competence on everyone. Disappointment and scented waste time in the air. Mayor Babish is to blame then. But negotiations went very well. Alright. We'll negotiate to these conditions for 12 years. And give him a chance, please. Yes, the alliance is made official, but they haven't called into our war yet. There'll be no treason around here. This is a desperate time for us. Because I need everybody available. Retake this area. Get them to come here again. And if we are defeated again, we are lost. I will join, but that means they can't help us right now. Unless you want to engage them over the plains. Just a last-ditch effort. Look, we're badly outnumbered, but just use our very best in terms of martial skill to go after them. Coordinator, aggressive leader. We have to put a lot of damage into them. As I said, we're outnumbered, but we're just going to use our full might against them. Last resort. And if we lose, then the war is lost. And if you capture any commanders, they will all be mutilated or executed. Badly outnumbered here. Reports have reached us that the traders' tribe is being harassed by raiders in the lands of Magat. Send my marshal to hunt them down. Our flanks in retreat. They put pressure on my center flank. We lost this one. That's a desperate move. What we just did. The coward. They're gonna be too dangerous to interfere with the caravan raiders and refuse to carry out my orders. I could have arrested for this. I would not solve the problem of merchants being attacked on my trade routes. I'll root it out myself. You know I'm a military man in this situation. Give him a chance. And I'll have time for switching for one another. After sunset, I managed to track down a raiders' cabin. Maybe my men decide to get rid of these mercenaries. Enter the camp and approach their leader. You know who I am. As we enter the camp, we pass clusters of tents and campfires. I only see a small group of raiders. I could feel the many eyes upon me. Approaching the center of the settlement, a silhouette assumed is the leader of the raiders. Exits large and greets him with a smirk. I'll fight the leader and shatter the band of raiders. They're gone. But we have severely defeated ourselves. We can't beat them. Now they're going to start invading in our territory. And I don't want to arrest my friend. Need faster reinforcements. Fine! Did it out of anger. Should have trained the troops before we even started that war. Need a strategist from you. Maybe we could learn Chinese tactics against them, but just hold position here. What to fight in a guerrilla war, just like how we fought against Apala. I refuse to concede defeat. Way the tiger. For Padma Singh. even faster, flanking and all. Put it back. Let's try to sabotage one of the provinces. Like try to capital, just start messing with them. None of these women are pregnant, unfortunately. I was hoping if they were to produce heir, we'll come over there and take their son. Then that's it for them. Well, we can't do that now, can't we? And I can't help them at this time, so we picked the wrong ally for this. And what little money we have. Waste Shrine Kutsunagaras recently gained fame for the blessings it supposed granted those who prayed. Pilgrims and travelers are making their way in droves, seeking the boots it provides. My tireless spires approached me with a suggestion that sent me a cold shiver down my spine. As I lack a male heir, I could take a decision to fake one using subterfuge and a big lie to be assured my bloodline will continue in the future. Aghast at first upon carrying the suggestion, now I toy with the spy master's idea. It may happen if I lose this war. They'll ruin everything. So to play that game, capture some of ours, we're gonna capture some of yours then. Even though it's gonna take a while. Come here. We just have to drag this war out until we find a way how to defeat him. I don't have enough money to get mercenaries unless somebody puts a bounty to it, then I can make it happen. We have the commanders. It's just the Gupta army never had a reputation of being a victorious army. We're just going back to our old ways of fighting, of how we defeated Apollos. But they keep reinforcing because they have mercenaries and we can't get rid of him because he has the wealth of the large nation behind. Well, we'll try to take at least one holding to prevent the war score from going against us. You already have them as a prisoner. Care for anyone? But that siege is costly for our forces once again. Fortunately, we already built that war chest long ago. But if I get desperate, I may have to get a loan. And use that loan for the money to hire more mercenaries, so it'll be evenly matched between us. So we need to get them back here after we take hold of this area. We did occupy Chunon for a bit, so let's just take one more holding, then head back to friendly territory. I've heard there are lands far away from where I live, where the practice of marriage between siblings is common and just not accepted, but actively embraced and encouraged. Could such places even exist? If they did, I've yet to meet anyone from them in person. Thinking about them gets me all excited. Because my mind isn't right these days. I have heard of a man who lives in Mithila and is blessed with supernatural abilities, such as being surviving any injury and even decapitation. Rumor has it he's acquired his abilities after accidentally encountering outworldly spirits, particularly a young, immortal woman who is now a spirit, and how they travel the lands fighting demons and such supernatural threats. Nothing but fanciful lies, I am certain. Do not bring such petty petitions for me ever again. You know better. Getting tired of their suggestions. I rule the damn kingdom around here. Raise another one soon. Oh, thank Shakti. Pray for his son. They didn't take my sister who's residing over there. If they did, I'd be extremely mad. Okay, fall back to Mugget. We're gonna get a new set of troops, even though they're lightly armed at the most. We're heading back to Magad, and we'll raise a new army here. And then after that, then if the war drags on for another 2 years, then we'll raise another army. We're no longer using mercenaries. But we'll do what we can to defeat them. Cruelty is ruining some of the prosperity. Here's the new mayor. He'll do a lot better. And better start collecting taxes again. Because we don't have much income like we used to. Because of enemy occupation. We're reinforcing here 40 a month this time. So then they're slowing down on their reinforcements, but most of them are mercenaries at this point. What mercenaries are they exactly? The Tortoise Company. Of course it's Chinese mercenaries. They're some of the best in the world. February in 2 years. Got it? Bit of a mismatch as far as what we're dealing with compared to them, which they have far more heavy infantry and pikemen than we do, and more cavalry and more elephants. As I said, it's a mismatch. And if I'm gonna get desperate, I may even call him over here. Because of his very high martial, he's a flanker. So we show me the battle one more time. It's all plains, so it's even ground. But you know what? Get the loan. I'd have to pay 10% interest. Medium, at least. Don't take a large one yet. That's for just in case if we lose this next one. But do not worry, we're going to have a lessons learned committee on this conflict. Knowing what we did wrong. And what kind of compositions that we should have. Again, most of these troops are mercenaries and vassal troops. And some of them are retinues. If we can defeat them, then at least one more major battle and reclaim all this, then we have a good chance of winning. These last two battles were severe for us. Just for reference. I'm not sure. You see, lightly armored versus all of this. And they're going to keep reinforcing if we don't engage them now. Of course, we are slowly being reinforced, but we need to get them off our land and retake all this back. But you got 2 years. And if you need mercenaries, you know who to hire. The Taliban's already been used up. Perhaps the Tangut band. The cavalry intensive. Or maybe the Rajput band, because it brings elephants and heavy infantry. We'll think about it. But we have to engage him now. And just for that, hey, you're coming. You're coming with us. You'd only use the very best. And plus you'll be a flanker on our side. Actually, this one's much better, because this has more elephants. No, no, no. Padma Singh is the elephant man here. Put him there. You stay in your flank. You do what you can on this side. In fact, I'm throwing everybody in there. Anybody who's not been assigned will be put there. Everybody must contribute. There can be no slacking off. This is what happens when you get desperate. We're going in after them. It has to be decided here in the plains. All of our might, even though we're bringing my giant friend out here. He's a bit too old to fight, but he has talent. Putting a lot of pressure on the center this time. Our flanks are crumbling. I'm doing very well here. It's one of those Chinese mercenary bastards. Keep him in prison. Wait until war's over. There's you again. You're staying in prison. Nobody's going to be released. Nor am I in the mood for mutilation. Another mercenary. Q was probably their court physician. And they called against my friend. They're gonna regret participating in this conflict. What little you have, come over here. At least you have some heavy infantry. And a bit of cavalry, every little bit helps. Another book. The Enkuru Nuru. The Enkuru Nuru is a classical Tamil poetic work. The poems deal with various aspects of courtship between the hero and the heroine. Siege guy, over here. Just get this down and we'll beat those guys back just to make sure they do not come over here. Well, we're in friendly territory, so we can be reinforced. No, no, no. Don't let these bastards go. We were trying to liberate them, but I've realized if they put together, they'll combine their strength and it'll make it much harder for us. It's not worth it right now. I have to pay the interest. Which is for just in case, you know, mercenaries and all. They're all terrible anyhow. Turn to the siege. Take all these territories back. I mean, if we try to attack them, I mean, they give us a hard time last time, but no. Stay here for a bit. You would make a heck of a court philosopher. If only we couldn't recruit you. What? You're a young man. Doctor of Philosophy, already co-tutored, but I'm already tutored. I think you're well suited to take the vows. You will retire from the front line. So you will return to your home country as a monk. Just to show, hey, this is from the territory of my friend, alright? Showing you a bit of mercy. Even though the enemy is retreating on this day, my goodness, I'm actually fighting him, despite the fact I already let him go. Does this count? Oh, wow. You gave him a black eye on his way out. That'll tell him that he will retire from warfare. She dislikes me. I can understand that. And it's also because of this. No tax breaks. Taxes are important, so let's still do the work. Oh no, not another sickly child. I told you! I'm cursed! Sorry that I raised my voice, it's just I'm trying to prove a point to you. You tried your best to save my son. I'm giving you a second chance. We'll be slowly reinforcing here, but they could reinforce themselves faster. That's it. Take it easy, alright? Envious and whatever. But that costs money to murder somebody. Patience. You don't have that ruffle trait. Just simply replace him. He's failed again. Ever since you came here, I guess you'll probably do better. They'll grow stronger every day. Whereas we're far behind. We just destroyed one of our own buildings trying to take this area back. That's 7. That's 2. So we only lost 9. That's not much. We need to engage them soon, but the problem is that's a river crossing. The only way to beat them there, but that's forest, so no. Don't engage. Do not engage. Movement lock. Let's get rid of them. It's just smaller force so we could take them on. Well, there you go. You're on your way out. Hope you're not on the front line, friend. At least they're making you do other tasks. I mean, if I see you on the battlefield, I won't kill you. You've been good to me back then. I couldn't save your country from being subjugated, but I can't do anything else. Anybody want me to... Well, I'll do anything for money at this point. Because we're going to hire mercenaries once again, and I know who exactly. Get me the Rajput. And I'm going to have to get another loan. Take a large one. That means you have to pay it twice. We're that desperate. Now they're heading for Magad. Just assault immediately, you'll take very little casualties in this. No, not now. Let them head to Magad, and we'll go around Gaia and attack them from the south. It'll be in jungles. Again, we'll be engaging the smaller forces from there. They'll probably stop. No, they won't stop. Just let them go. Workers found second in Mugad. Appears the local terrain resource could probably support a shepherd community. It would require a large payment up front, but after a few years it'll pay itself back several times over. Well, enough of the searching. Get to work. Finally, a resource that'll be coming up in a few years. It'll definitely do good for the post-war economy. If we could subjugate all of the lands. Stop. Trick them into coming here. They're not stopping. They're not stopping. We got them locked in. Alright. It's a defensive battle, boys. Where's our elephant guy? Padma Singh, you're up. You're the flanker. We have the numerical advantage. We have the forest. They'll be crossing the Ganga. They'll be here, over here next month. In a minister of philosophy, it is necessary for someone to prove all sides in an argument before they choose where they stand. This gives me a great respect for the opinions of others. Listening is half the conversation. Become humble. Maybe I'm starting to get a little bit of that sense of humanity again, but I don't know. But we have him. If you can capture this man, good. Because he's the problem. Gave them a severe lashing. Capture these areas again. We're making a comeback. We severely defeated those mercenaries. Those Chinese mercenaries, that's been a problem to us. Even though they're both already in prison. %40 war scoring up right now. Head to Chunan, which that area had also been occupied in the past. I'm Gao Ching, Chao Guang, excuse me. From the wheel of life and death, I noticed your current situation couldn't stop myself from getting involved. Your enemies are my enemies, and they will taste my blade. You're coming here? You joined the war. Yet you come from all the way over there. Chao Guang. Tanga. It's a long way. Take it easy. It's no longer volatile. They're not going to resist much. Let's meet him head on. He's got money. Ransom him. Maharaja's out there. Where are you, you coward? We'll get you too. Here's the interest. He's over there. It's not them. He's in that one. Wherever he goes, we gotta find him and capture him. It's not that army, it's this one. There's the Maharaja himself. If we capture him, we gain this area. Not him. Severely injured. Just head for Kanya-Kubja. Take their capital. They've gone into hiding because we were here earlier. I didn't think we'd gone that far. Now we're right next to our Rajput ally. Really? Despite all this? Yeah, I'm sure. Because of our experiences of the long war. I went to her chamber, gave her a good tumble. It's good to be the Maharaja. So she's my lover, but you cannot impregnate her. It doesn't work like that. Also, I'm no longer patient. Capturing our capital isn't going to increase the war score big time, but this is just to mess with them a bit. Just take this one holding, then we'll meet him in battle and just take the relevant objectives. Where are your mercenaries now? Reduced. That's what. We'll be happy to take whatever loot is there. Kanya-Kubja farting my possession. I've ordered the dungeon searched, and soon my soldiers returned word of prisoners huddled in stinky cages. Kameshwar. You were captured in one of the previous battles. Yes, release those friendly to our cause. Welcome back, friend. It's time for you to get back to your service. Let's finish this. Varanasi will be the next target. We're gathering all up over there. Hey, wait a minute. I remember you. So you were, I ordered you to take the vows, which he did, and I guess the previous owner of the Pujari died, and so therefore he's the new one. Remember the Vitamont? Yes, that is indeed him. Silk slippers. Give me those. It's all about fertility these days. Tell you what, when I turn 50 years old, I will forge for a bastard son. Make that a promise. When I turn 50, alright? Never really wanted to do it, but guess I'm gonna have to. And also gonna have to make some changes, personally. Worthless ally. Messenger from Maharaja of the Ayudha Kingdom, my valuable ally, came to me stated that due to my lack of enthusiasm for the war the siege involved, as I'm not willing to actively participate in, I request to provide some monetary assistance to the war effort. Your plea for help comes to the worst of times. Damn. Unreliable ally. Well, I was hoping you would join of ours, but just for that, I'm not going for yours. We've wasted enough time out here and money. A few more territories to get that we can order assaults on. Hey up. I'm not here for artifacts. %, right now. Jawadpur will be the next area. Barely any defenses. It's become restless. Hey, what took you so long? I forgot you were out there. The other Anata Devi. Oh no, she's a drunk. That means that child isn't going to be born well. No, no, you're no longer my concubine. Get out of here. I mean, if you could free this territory for me, that'll up the war score a bit more, and we could finally end this destructive conflict. People died, mutilated, buildings destroyed. No, no, no. Siege it. I forgot the ability to order allies around, but still. You got any money in you? Well, just release them. Okay. A little strange. So 83%. It's almost like I have to control the entirety of it. But unoccupy it, and it'll do a lot well. Just only 2 more holdings to go. Thank you. Now, link up with us. It'll do a lot of good. And use your numbers just to add more percentage for the siege for coming up. A lot better. 93%. Damn it, damn it, damn it. It shouldn't. Well, we have our ally with us, so what are you complaining about? Alright. This is it. One more battle and we should win this. He doesn't have much money, that means... This I can leave alone. I'll be sure to pay off those loans after the war. Which, thanks Shakti, it's finally over. How long was this? 5 years and 3 months. Unacceptable. Do you want my help in that stupid war of yours? We've taken this area. And I hold personal control over Chuna. Which, that one has a shepherd community there, so... We'll be making some money soon. So fine, we'll be coming over there. But I'm not gonna like it. I am lost in a maze of tunnels that seem never end. No matter where I turn, left or right, I cannot find a way out. No matter where I go, there is no one here. I thought there might have been monsters or bandits lurking about. Only my friends and enemies. That are flickers of occasional torch and cold stone walls. Nothing exists but the dark passageways. I wake up sweating with a feeling of unease. I've dreamt of an endless dungeon. Taking our capital would do. They'll win on the battlefield. What a banquet. 100%, they captured the leader. Okay, stop here. A large shrine dating back to antiquity has been recently unearthed in Mudgagiri. Made of stone, its survival a testimony to its strength and sturdiness, as this shrine was found on territory belonging to me. I have decided what should be done with it. While it is not large enough to be converted into a modern temple, perhaps it might have some other use. You know, we saw a lot of destruction in this conflict, and I'm like, man, I don't care anymore. So they'll be using old stones there, but let me be the leader who cares. Huh. I must admit of some of the regrets that I've done in this life. Although, I'll give the credit to him that he's introduced me to a certain faith. Head over here. My wife's pregnant. Hope for a son. This is last chance. Oh no, that can't be the one because, I'll show you, I'm fine with that name. Not because he's a child of concubine, but his mother was a drunk. Does that mean it's gonna mess with him mentally? And things are stable now. Like Mother Vassal better. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Which again, don't have a medium crown authority if you want to get this up. Which it'll do. So that gives me the ability to free infidel revocation. So, yeah, 50% opinion from all rulers under this title. Disables light approach to religious subjugation. Nearly conquered provinces potentially affected by this title are friendly religiously towards their old owner, whose owners are always subject. Always subject to this religious subjugation. Just head to Nugget. Once the army is there, we have an announcement to make. What have we here? I mean, I have a son, but that's a child of a concubine. And I don't want that. More people. This is the day where I will personally adopt Jainism. So I'll give up the charade of my false religion. I'll give up charade of mine, a false religion acted upon, and openly declared my true faith. Jainism is a religion with strong traditions divided into two main branches, Dingabara and Svetambara. As I convert, I must choose one of them. Knowing my friend, I will be of the white-clad Svetambara. And this is the reason why. Kick him out of there. Because I need more personal control on some of these areas. If he rebels, good. If he doesn't, then he doesn't. Step 1. Well, that's a little more than expected. So we're basically trying to get rid of them. I mean, I don't want to get rid of them. Just only revoke all of these. You too? At least you're with me, old friend. So we're actually going to stop this episode on that note. That's the reason why we did not want to set up these mercenaries. Instead, this is how it's going to be. So we're going to leave you this on a cliffhanger in the next episode. When you join us in this next episode, this man's going to have to fight one last war before he finally gets to live in peace and hope for a legitimate son. Because as a Jain, I can, you know, do the ability to designate any valid offspring as the heir. That's why I don't think he should be ruling, knowing whose mother it is. So I hope for a legitimate son from you. Good looking. But, well, as I said, we have one more war to fight. We have to capture these areas mainly, because it's been suffered enough. So I hope you join us in the next episode. But until then, so long for now.